Well, you're probably sick of this by now, but this one I do have some important things to say in this update video. So, usual health update, I'm fine, just in case you was wondering. Get myself on track, moving up in the world, slightly. But all things go well, which I can't quite say yet, I'm in no position to say. If all things go well, things will be really looking up. But if it happens, I will explain in a future update. So, okay, I'll go straight to the chase. Horror Converter 2. I have a release date for you. And it's typical of me, but it gives me plenty of time to mop up the finishing touches. 31st of October 2023. So this Halloween. Reason for that, it's kind of like I suppose it's kind of like an alternative. If Wicked Terror 2 doesn't happen, we'll have that. If it does happen, 2 for 1. Wicked Terror 2 and Horror Converter 2, which would be pretty cool. So what I plan to do with Horror Converter 2, and I'm not just going to release it, I'm going to have a release build. So it'll be Horror Converter 2 version 1.0. Meaning that I do intend on updating it over time. I wanted it to be like a standalone thing, just once it's finished, it's finished. But at the same time, I wanted it to be full of content, have a lot of things to experience, different experiences to have, different combinations. But it just hit like a brick wall. I did not know what to do. That was different. I didn't want to repeat myself in it. So what I started doing was taking time to think what else I can do. I couldn't really think at the time. So what I'm going to do is release it as it is, as a release build, and then over time I'm going to be doing themed updates. It'll expand upon what it already has, and if there's anything new I can add, I'll add something new to it. I'll tell you the first 3 updates if you like. Skip ahead if you don't want any spoilers. So the first update is called Crossfire, which is a military themed update. It'll involve like Nazi zombies, an air raid siren event, which you hear an air raid siren, the screen fades black, you hear like a bomb go off, it will come back and every enemy's dead. Oh, it is, isn't it? But over time, from the ashes will arise these unique grey skeleton enemies, and they are feisty as shit. So it's kind of like a pro and a con. Yeah, all the enemies are dead, but they'll come back as slightly more annoying enemy archetypes. Next update after that would be called Frostbite, which is a ice themed or winter themed update. That will include a unique event. So there's 2 types of event. There's active ones and solid ones. I didn't quite know what to call them. Active ones occur randomly mid-level. Solid ones occur at the start of the map. So when the map starts, it's on for the whole map. Simple example, basic example would be fog. Just a slight bit of fog. Or zombie fog. Or zombie green mist, in which there's a slightly green fog, and zombie enemies start popping out the floor at random. And this will introduce a frost, or like it's called Glacier event, which is a solid event. The map will start out and everything looks a bit cold, everything's got a bit of a chill to it. Maybe some snowflakes start falling from the ceiling, and it will introduce unique frozen enemies that will appear as basic decorations, and they'll shatter, and they'll be it will release a monster or something. And the third update is called Dungeons. This is essentially a test in a way, but I've always wanted to do this for Doom, but I've never quite cracked it. Procedurally generated maps. So you start off in a small room, and there'll be a door that'll open a couple of seconds after the map starts. The reason for that is to sort of hide the level generating itself, essentially. It gives the level time to sort itself out and whatnot. The objectives will be simple. find keys, pull switches, or beat a boss. But I need to figure out how to apply it to, say for instance, if you play it on Heretic, or Hexen, or even Strife, if that's possible. Having weapon spawns. I could probably do something where it detects what class you are or something, but I'll figure something out. I'll do a series of checks based on whatever, and if it matches something, it'll spawn enemies based on that information. As for Week of Terror 2, we've had some ideas for what to do. Just like I said, I'm stepping things up. I had some ideas which most of the female side of my family disagreed with, of me using a Ouija board. I think I mentioned with your girlfriend, she said no as well, and her sister said no, Yasmin. My mum said no, and most of the lads are like, yeah, well. So in their honour, I won't use a Ouija board. Oh, I mean, if I can have so many years of bad luck, right? Nah, all things except I probably won't be using a Ouija board. But I have been thinking of other things I could do to step up the game. I'm not talking like rituals and shit like that. I probably won't go down too well with a lot of people on YouTube. So I'm talking about things that put me in a bit of danger. I've done a couple of episodes already. I did one where I did a Wheel of Fortune, where if I die, I spin a wheel and it lands on something. I've done that before, but it was like several times I did it. So there was like several tiers, and as each tier had increasingly more daring forfeits. One of which was quite simply have a teaspoon of curry powder. Another one was coffee. I think one was take a shot of Jack Daniel's bourbon, which I'm not a fan of that. Duct tape, wax strips, things like that. And another one, you will have access to a particular part of the episode, uncensored, blood warning by the way, where I played Russian roulette with a Nerf gun, but on the Nerf darts I duct tape a pin tack at the end of it, and I was mostly shooting the side of my head with it. I'll have to censor a lot of it because of YouTube guidelines. So you'll know what's going on, but you can't see what's going on. And at the end I thought, this is pretty shit this, I want to step it up. I thought I'd go for my forehead. I hit like a vein or something right about here, and blood started pissing out my forehead. If anything, I looked astonished that my face was covered in blood. I think I was shocked mainly. And you can see that on the Collaseum dungeon, if you want to see that uncensored. Not that you probably want to, but it's there. Speaking of the dungeon, yeah, in case you missed the reveal video, that is essentially like live leak, but it's me and my friends. I say me and my friends because my family definitely won't get involved in some of the things that we ended up doing. For example, chucking aerosol cans in burning barrels in the backyards, causing a fucking massive bang that shook Windows 2 DOS down. Yeah, we haven't done that since. Smashing TVs with a sledgehammer. It was already broken, we were just finishing it off. And many other silly things that we get to add. Next thing we'll talk about is Eddie Died. Now that I've got Reverse Suicide, Neon Protocol and Graffiti and whatnot out of the way, a lot of the projects have been finished. Now, I mentioned Eddie Died. That's gone for a series of changes, it's gone for a lot of changes. And it was meant to be a lot of different things, but we've finally settled on what it is. And let me say, some of the ideas and whatnot, like things that are going to happen, I don't even know if we're going to put it on YouTube. I'm going to have to be very careful how I write this, because it is probably the most, let me rephrase that, it is going to be the most darkest thing ever done by MrSkulltag. I'm literally talking The Boys sort of humour, if not worse. I'm not going to spoil what it's about or what to expect, but a lot of violence, a lot of swearing, depictions of drug use. There's going to be some naughty scenes in it. So it's going to be depicted in a way that you know what's going on, but you can't quite see what's going on, if you know what I mean. This will be pushing the boat quite far out. This is something way outside the old comfort zone. It's kind of like my way of saying, fuck it, let's go all in with this. I really want to do something quite dark, something quite controversial, and this is definitely it. Oh, even the main protagonist is a toss-up between several hardened characters. I'm talking Constantine, John Wick, maybe a bit of Sisu. Not anyone called Sisu, it's the title of the film, Sisu. But you can gauge an idea of what to expect. This is a bit of a revenge thing. It actually bridges two Collaseum projects as well. Anonymous A and Cascade and Trauma. Not saying how, but it'll bridge them. And characters from both projects will appear in Eddie Died. Characters that even appeared in for a couple of seconds, or even just characters that only spoke and probably died, will appear. Characters that are exclusive to Eddie Died but are related to said projects will appear. And of course, Eddie himself. Who is Eddie? We can find out. But yes, it'll be a 6-part series, each getting increasingly more gruesome, grotesque, but funny. There's a lot of dark humour in there, even when some of the characters even talk. You know, things you wouldn't normally say to people, but given Eddie's personality, he couldn't give a fuck who you are. He couldn't care if he was, I don't know, his mother. Couldn't give a shit. He'll say what's on his mind. Within reason, obviously. But yeah, it's going to be quite out there. Some of the stuff that's going to appear in it's like awful, really awful. Obviously, there's some lines I won't cross. I'm not saying exactly what, but there are lines I won't cross, regardless. But some things will be suggested, not based off any. None of this is based off any personal experiences, by the way. It's just like the sickest thing I can think of, and just put it in there within reason, obviously. For comedic purposes, for story building purposes, or even literally just for shock value. This will give you an audience reaction to certain characters and certain events. To provoke reactions, so I say. So yeah, Eddie Died, it's going to be quite out there. Zero Tolerance Squad, that's not been. I've got a scene to edit for that. But that'll be a slow project. That's going to be my magnum opus, that one. Definitely. It'll blow everything else out of the water. Guaranteed. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today's episode. Stay tuned for Horror Converter 2 this Halloween. Release build coming your way. I've been waiting to say that for a long time, and this is the time, really. It's about time. I don't want to keep you guys waiting. I really want you to be able to enjoy it, and hopefully enjoy its future expansions. So expect Crossfire some considerable time after its release, because I've got several things that are outside the Collaseum that I've got going on. Important things. But what time I do have, I'll spend it wisely. Stay tuned, stay creative, stay safe, and a piece of advice, it's all simple. Don't be a cunt. You have been watching the MrSkulltag channel. Be sure to check out the links in the description below for more short films, entertaining videos, gaming videos, or check out our blog for future updates.